Hello, it's not Saturday or Sunday, and I'm shooting a video. Can you believe it? But the holiday is this week, so I thought, and I'm on vacation this week, so I thought this is a good week before the craziness or the not so craziness to shoot a video. It's a good time for that. So, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Today is November 24th, I think. It is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and this is a channel about cross stitch. I have been on a finishing rampage. My to-do list, I wrote a to-do list about 2 weeks ago, and I'm starting to crush it. My husband and I sat down, and what did we do? Like 2 weeks ago, we had a cafeteria plan at work where you can use pre-tax dollars to pay for medical expenses. We had a whole bunch of receipts that we had accumulated since February or March, and hadn't done anything with. So we went through that whole process of submitting all those claims. Yesterday I went through the garage and I swamped out the garage and cleaned it up. And my husband came home in the middle of it and he fixed the treadmill and was working on some outlets that weren't working. And we're just trying to get stuff done. And I'm checking some boxes on my to-do list, which feels great. Now I look at my craft room and I've got some more to-do lists that I'm working on. One of them is to clean up this mess in here, but I'm being creative. I am finishing things. And so I would love to share with you some of the things that I've been working on. First of all, I picked up a frame from Hobby Lobby to finish my Modern Folk Embroidery Forget-Me-Not sampler. This is one I stitched some time back. Earlier this year, I finished it. I think it's on my stitch 10 and 20, which I will not be meeting that goal. But I did get this framed. I looked several places for frames and just decided that this one was the one I liked, and I framed it myself. So this is Forget-Me-Not Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is stitched with Silks for You silk. I'll put it in the drop-down box below. I can't remember the number. And the gold is a Petite Treasure Braid. I tried probably 4 different colors for the accent color, and I used this real pretty gold color. I just really like it. It glows. This whole thing, this is stitched on 40 count autumn gold. The frame is sort of a dark chocolate color. And it was difficult to figure out the frame to use because blue didn't really look good with it. And black was really not quite right either. So this kind of chocolatey color picks up the darker pieces of the linen. So I'm just really pleased with this. It sort of has a masculine feel to it, which is good because my sampler wall has plenty of feminine things that'll be on there. So this will create a little bit of balance to it. Jacob DeGraff is Jacob DeGraff is the designer, and he has a new channel. I watched his first video yesterday. He's really just, as you can imagine, he's outstanding. He showed some more of his designs that I promptly need to go over and purchase. So, Modern Folk Embroidery Forget-Me-Not Sampler. That was my first finish. And it's just one of these frames where you can take the back off. Because there's no glass, it's deep enough for me to put the back on, which is nice. So that's the first one. I have piles of things to finish. Piles. I have several Stitch Media Patriotic little pin keep size items to finish. So my intent is to get to that. But the most important thing that I wanted to start finishing while I've been on vacation is my Christmas stockings from the Cross Stitch and Country Craft books. Handwork Maniac, Brenda, she had stitched some of these, and Elizabeth Ankin Stitch just finished a couple. Mine have been done for at least 10 years. At least 10 years. My niece was the last one, and she's 13, almost 14, and she was probably like two or three when I finished hers, but I FFO'd these. I used a tutorial. I could have used Vanna's tutorial. I had already started using a different tutorial though, so I wanted to keep it consistent all the way through. And I had finished one of the stockings last year, but the interfacing I used didn't have much body to it. So I ended up I tried fusible fleece, which is what I use in my project bags. Oh, by the way, Brenda and the cereal starter, Brenda, I use these little tags to label my bags. So there you go. But I use fusible fleece, which sort of gives it more teeth, more of a tooth to it. It has nice loft. And I liked it so much on the stockings that I did that I went through and redid the one that I had finished last year. So I'm going to show you all of these. This is for my niece, Kendall, and this is the girls' room. And if you'll see, this is, I showed this on Insta story this week too. This is over one in here. And I just think this is precious. I love, wouldn't you, if you were a young girl, wouldn't you want to have this room in your house? I mean, come on. These are not huge stocking, which I kind of like because, and my husband's like, you can't get enough stuff in there. I'm like, stocking stuffers are expensive. And so having limited size to me is not a bad thing. This is the fabric that I put on the back. It's the same for all of the stockings, but this is the girls' room. This is for my niece, Kendall. This one is for my husband, Todd. This one was the very first stocking that I made, and it's on Ada. So, and I want to say it's probably 16 count Ada. What's fun about this is the cranberries are all French knots, and then there is popcorn down here. It's sort of a fuzzy thread that I used. I don't know why I used that. And then this is this braided rug down here. It's like a tent stitch, which is kind of fun. I love this quilt on the chair. I just love these stockings. The little candles have the little wicks on them. Santa. These are just so much fun. So there's my husband's Todd's. Here's mine. Of course, it's the craft room, right? It looks like my craft room, for crying out loud. There's stuff everywhere. This over here is over one. And the angels, I love these sort of primitive angels with the knotted hair on there. A little, it's not a floss card because it's too big, maybe a yarn gauge. And the sewing machine, I love that. This embroidery stand is pretty phenomenal. And then all the yarn down there. This gingham cap's adorable too. So this one is mine. The next, this is my oldest, Randy. And he has the boys' room. This was probably the second stocking that I did. I'm sure it was the second one. I think I did mine later. But the Santas up here are awesome. Again, this cranberry and popcorn has sort of a nubby feel to it. I think it's I'm not sure what kind of, that might just be regular DMC actually. That piggy bank is adorable. I'm gonna go this way so I can see the side a little bit better. And then we've got ice hockey skates and this barn. This is an amazing barn. Now this, I had, I don't know what I did. Coffee tea dyed the toe of this before I FFO'd it, and you can't see it, right? And if you look closely, nope, I've actually covered the whole thing up, I think. This is adorable. This Jack in the Box. Over here's really cute too. Raggedy Andy. This is like a Where's Waldo. There's so much to look at on all of these. And backstitch. Somebody said on my Instagram post, they said, I would rather backstitch one of these than FFO it. Ain't that the truth? So this is my second child. This is Dylan. He's got Santa's Workshop. I loved stitching this one. You know, I think it was just because it's such a cozy feeling, right? So wouldn't you just think Santa's in here working away? These nice little pops of color were fun to stitch. I love this dollhouse. Now my husband's a mechanic, and so they were all about, he's a heavy equipment mechanic. So that my kids loved looking at heavy equipment with him. So Dylan was especially in love with it. So I inserted this from one of those pattern leaflets that was like 99 pieces of equipment or something like that. I went ahead and squeezed that in there, and the arc is pretty awesome on here. So this is Dylan's stocking. This is my third child. This is Kurt, and his stocking is all about music. If you can tell, it's all about music. Kurt was big into music. He played the baritone in middle school, grade school, middle school. I don't think he did in high school, but he was into choir all the time too. So this is very fitting for him. Now these jingle bells here, you actually just put beads on there and you put a Sharpie marker on it, like a little cross to make it look like jingle bells. And it's got the bells like a bell choir and some teddy bear and a doll and drums, this beautiful cello and the music stand, and then I don't know what that is, you guys, French horn, maybe that looks like it's about the size of a French horn. This one, and this is just, I love this right there. So many good things on this one. This is Curtis's stocking. And then this is my youngest. This is Cooper's stocking. He has the study, I guess I would call it the study, right? So what I really love about this one is this train, because everyone, I think that's very reminiscent of Christmas, having a tree with a train that goes around underneath it. And then that Santa's pretty amazing. This quilt looks like the quilt on my husband's stocking. And then there's a trumpet, which kind of cracks me up. My husband played trumpet, or is it cornet? Like a trumpet. Well, we had it for years, and my kids, they would try and blow on that all the time. It was dinged up a little bit with them, but they have great memories of that. And then this goose, it sort of looks like the 90s, doesn't it? But this color palette, it really does anyway. It's just, I remember stitching all of these, and I loved stitching them. I have not stitched them all. There are probably, maybe 3 of them that I haven't stitched, and I'm unlikely to stitch, quite frankly. I think I'm done. Although my niece, she got a stocking, and then my nephew, her brother, I don't think he's going to get one. I just finished, I gave him the Teresa Wentzler Noah's Ark that I had stitched. It had all the over 1 animals that about killed me. That just got framed, and he's had that for a while. I just got it framed. So I worked on that yesterday. It was not as terrible as I thought it would be, which was great. I think having the feasible fleece made all the difference in there. They're not perfect, but they're good enough, right? We're not going to let perfect get in the way of success. Then let's see, what else have I been working on? I think that's it for FFOs. I have several up on deck that I am hoping to get to still this week. Today I got to run to Costco, buy the pumpkin pie, because I'm not going to make it. In fact, 2 of our kids aren't going to be here for Christmas, or for Thanksgiving. So I will send food home with one of the kids for them. They all 3 of them go to the same college, but I'm not going to worry too much about the pumpkin pie. Anyway, it's kind of a low-key year, which I'm not going to lie, I kind of like. So we have, what else is on my desk here to show you? Well, let me just show you this one. This is the whip I've been working on. I've been posting, I just recently posted on Instagram. I haven't been posting a whole lot. This is Sarah Chapel by Shakespeare's Peddler. I saw this at the Midwest Retreat. Teresa brought it, and it is a stunning sampler. It is so pretty in person, and it was really gorgeous. I am about a third of the way done. Actually, let me see if I can hold this. It will help me. Sorry, you guys. Make it a little bit easier for you. I'm about a third of the way done. This is stitched on 46 count straw by Weeks. Oh, there's a little spider on here. Hold on. Don't freak out, Audrey. There's a spider on my stitching. Let's see if I can do this if it's better. 46 count straw by Weeks. It's on this Weigart base. And I would say that some people love stitching houses. Carol Saltbox, She was eyeing me. We were talking about it, and I like stitching houses fine. I like interesting houses. To me, it's all right. I need to fill in the roof and put the little chimneys on, but the trees and vases of flowers are my very favorite thing to stitch. So I worked my way up. I was working here and these funny little birds on the tops of the trees. They're kind of that ghosty color, you know, so you can't see them as much. They've matched the linen quite a bit, but I rather like it. And this is going to be a pretty busy sampler. There's a lot to look at in there, so it's okay if your eye rests on that. These two trees were fun to stitch. And there's little like weeds and pots of flowers down here that are satin stitched and little kind of, I want to say fussy, they're whip stitched. And then there's this chain link that I have to replicate over here. But I decided to come back to that at the end because they're small and I didn't want them to kind of get distorted. So I'll just do those last. Now this, I've been waiting to get to these. This is this vase right here. And then this on top here is going to be so much fun to stitch. The rest of it to me is going to be the most fun. This was the most labor intensive section. There's the most stitching, dense stitching. It was fun to stitch. I really like it a lot, but it is about to get to the really good stuff for me. So that is Shakespeare's Peddler, Sarah Chapel. What I love is showing it on Instagram and people saying, oh, I'm going to get that back out. That's one of my whips, or I loved stitching that. So it's fun to see everyone's thoughts on it. Here's the linen. I'm sorry, here's the threads. This is the one I substituted for the outer border flowers. This is Paprika by Belsois. What you see here is not what it looks like on the fabric, which is just tells you the trickery of these threads. There's a lot of greens and kind of beigey colors, and then there's some beautiful reds in here too. So, Sarah Chapel. Now, what I have on my to-do, I'm going to show you just a second here. Oops. Sorry, I'm a little bit disorganized. So I think Sarah Chapel is my brunette that I'm working on, and I have been pretty monogamous with her. I find myself wanting to stitch on that one. Getting kind of through the dense stitching to the part that I really like the most. The other one, the blonde that I'm going to start working on probably next week, is Abigail Colby's work basket. This one, Vanessa Flamefingers found the basket for me and shipped it to me, and I'm so excited. So this one I started at the Midwest retreat, I think 2 years ago in the fall. And this will go pretty quickly. Now I'm going to show you the threads. These are scrumptious. They're Belsois. There's only 4. So, and actually I think I bought this as a kit from Stash Unload. But these are the colors. Look at this. This is, I think, cinnamon stick. Fabulous colors. Fantastic. And this is where I am. I have done nothing on it. Oops, I don't get it the right way. This is where I am. But these are going to stitch quickly, so it's really not going to take me too long to get this done. I think maybe a couple of weeks, because really you just have, I've already stitched this, I'm partway through this, and there's basically 6 Quaker motifs that go around the middle. I think there's some accessory kits or something like that. I believe I have one of them, if not more. But I hope to make like a sewing basket out of that. I want to line the basket, and I think you actually stitch another piece, a conch, that goes on the bottom. You basically cover a disc or a circle, and you apply it to the bottom of the basket. And so when you open it up, you see this, the lining, and at the bottom you see this pretty, basically a monogram. It's so pretty, so pretty. So that one is up on my next to-do list. And when I get done with that one, I have another one. This is that one's on my stitch 10 and 20. And this one is also on my stitch 10 and 20. This is Gathering Pine Cones by Hillside Samplings. Yep. I even have the little button that goes with this. This is not a big piece either. I have all of the easy stuff done. All the easy stuff is done. And now I just need to sit down and do the specialty stitches. So it's done in this Threadworks. What color is this? Oh, it's just a number 1040. So it's kind of an interesting variegation. Some pretty strong colors. And then the green is this Threadworks 69010. It's a pretty variegated green. So those I will, and here's the little button. It's so cute. So those I will work on end to end, meaning I'm going to work on Abigail Colby first, and then I will move to this one next. So this is my next in line blonde. In a very fancy project bag called Ziploc. I know. Sometimes in my project bags, I like to have bags and bags. Is that kind of weird? Like I will still stick all the threads and the goodies in the plastic pattern cover that comes with it. So when I pull it out, I just pull that whole thing out. I don't have to dig around and find everything. I know, it's kind of weird. Anyway, so those are my future plans here. So I'll just show you a few things. In addition, I didn't have a ton of haul, which is awesome, but Ann Morrison, this is from Traditional Stitches, and this is by Hands Across the Sea. It's a celebration of Traditional Stitches' 20-year anniversary as a shop. So I ordered only the pattern, and I think you could order as a kit. You could order the silks, you could order just the fabric, or just the pattern, or just the fabric and pattern, just the pattern. So I opted on just the pattern because I have plenty of fabric. But Swanky Sim on Instagram, I gotta go looking at her stuff. So she said Vicki Clayton dyed silk and kit for this, a conversion for this. And so I bought it because look at this. All of the greens, the pinks, the beiges, the reds. So I think I'm gonna have to find some fabric and start this with the Sal December 1st. I have, what do I have? Newcastle Bouquet. Deborah Horton and I are starting that. And if you want to join us, I asked her if she had an idea for a hashtag, and she's like, oh, I don't know. You go ahead and decide. So I think we'll do NC Bouquet Sal if you want to stitch with us. NC like North Carolina, or Newcastle Bouquet Sal. NC Bouquet. And then, so I've got that Thanksgiving Day. I have the Ann Morrison sampler, December 1st. I have the Garden Series by Blackbird. I think I'll start that on my birthday. I'm not 100% sure. And then I have Hannah Pepper. I'm going to start either my birthday or Christmas Eve. I have my chatelaine that I'm going to start on Christmas Day. And I have another one that I'm going to stitch with at least one other stitcher on New Year's Day. So, what else do we have? I just have a little bit of haul. Joann's has velvet ribbon on sale, 50% off. So there are a couple different colors of red. There's black, there's navy, there's pink, there's white, there's wide, there's narrow. It's a good deal. It's a good time to go buy it. I also picked this up. I've already stitched this. Oh, I sent this off to Juliet Reflections Framing and Stitching, my finished Winter Rose Manor. Oh, I couldn't think of what it's called. Winter Rose Manor. So that's en route to Julie for some framing. But this is going to be a gift. I'm going to sew that up and make it a gift for someone. And I also saw, who was it that had a a bag made by Carolyn off the Grid Needle Arts with this fabric. And I went on the, when I saw this fabric, I went on the hunt for it because I love this. Not sure what I'm going to make of it, but I'm going to make something. And then I did buy some fat quarter bundle of some Blackbird fabric off the internets. Oh, I have a couple thank yous. Christmas cards have started coming, so boy, I got to get on that. This is from Nanette McDougall Dykes. She sent a thank you for something that she won, and then she sent me from, she has puts these up in her thank you for her vintage post art that she does. So actually, she doesn't have an Etsy shop. She just does this, and she sent it. So look at that. I love this. This, you know me. You know me, Nanette. That is right up my alley. Absolutely. Look at those flowers, right? So thank you, Nanette. That was very sweet. And then my friends down in California, Dara and Casey from Southern California Stitchin', sent a Christmas card. Isn't this cute? Well, this is a card that Nanette sent. And this is a card that Dara and Casey sent. And then they sent one of these Santa little thread drops, and they put a red on there, which I love. And then they sent this sweet little, it's like a little scissor fob. It's so cute. It's got a little pine cone on it and these little bells, like Christmas bells. So I loved that. This would be a great zipper pull for a project bag too. Probably even better than a scissor fob. So, all right. So that's all I have for you today. I might shoot a bonus video tomorrow or Thursday. I had something in mind. So watch for that. If not, I will see you in 2 weeks. And I hope you have just a great Thanksgiving. I hope it's low key and that that you enjoy yourself and that you're able to spend time with family if possible. Be smart, right? So I will see you later. Have a great day.